Hi, this is C.M. Brown again, and I wanted to talk to you today about an old Zen master from the way back in the 20th century. Can you remember back that far? Well, he was a very influential Zen master during that time, and his name was Soen Nakagawa. And one of his favorite sayings was, "Every day is a good day." Now just think about that. Every day is a good day. Sounds great, doesn't it? And it's really an extraordinary statement when you just sit with that for a few moments, because you have to consider that life is really full of difficulties. There's no denying that. And that life can be any level of difficulties, from an annoyance of walking outside and finding that you have a flat tire to serious trauma. So how can there be such a thing as a good day? How can you say that this is a good day, that every day is a good day, when you're unemployed and you can't pay the mortgage, or when your back is so sore that you can't get up out of bed in the morning, or if you have a serious illness, or if there's been a death of a loved one? That doesn't seem so good. So how could we say that every day is a good day under those circumstances? Well, the reason is because there is something deeper than trauma, deeper than annoyance, deeper than difficulties, that is alive in us at all times. But the trouble is that we don't really seem to be able to have access to it. So what happens is that we become identified with the idea of ourselves as being traumatized or annoyed or living in the midst of difficulties. We say, "Woe is me. Woe is me." Now that's an old saying. It actually comes from Shakespeare, from Romeo and Juliet. Woe is me. Which is really saying that I am the woe. I am the pain. I am the difficulty. But when we're still, when we sit quietly, and we get a sense of all of these difficulties are things that are happening as events. So now, is it possible for you to regard whatever difficulties that are happening to you in your life right now as an event? Something as simple as an event, a thing that is happening. And if you can do that, if you can say that this sickness, for example, is something that's happening to me, but it's not me, then in a way, in a very deep way, you're actually freeing yourself from that identity with the sickness, So then that means if that is the case, if we accept that as a case, then we have to ask the question, well, what if that's not the identity, what is the identity? So when you're still and you're quiet and you listen to yourself, something magical happens. Now we say magical, but it's not really magical, but it's extraordinary. Something, maybe that's a better word. Something extraordinary happens, and you become closer when you're quiet. The reality of who you are becomes more into your consciousness, and the reality of who you are becomes more evident. And it's not an intellectual construct, it's something that you can actually feel, it's something that you actually know, it's something that you realize. That's what the word realize means. It means to know what is real. Now this is an awareness. This is a way of regarding your life. It's a way of recognizing your true identity, who you really are. So it's bigger, it's deeper, and it's nameless. It's so big, it's so deep, it's so extraordinary that you can't name it. Now we've come up with all of these names throughout history over thousands of years, and we've given it a name because we have to have the language to be able to talk about it. So we've called it the true self. We've called it the observer, the witness, that which stands outside of the events, that's looking back from this spaciousness of reality, witnessing it, the observer, the witness. And in Sanskrit, in the Vedantic tradition, it's called the Atman, the true self, the Atman, that which sees the experience, that which observes the flow of the events and the thoughts and all of the things that come and go. So this is a reality. This is an essence of you that you have access to, that you can touch. And it's this that tells you what reality is and what unreality is. The events, the things that are happening, all the things that change all of the time. So you're no longer identifying yourself as these things that happen to you. You're no longer identifying yourself as being a person that's sick or being a person that has to deal with a flat tire. You're no longer dealing with yourself as a person who's angry or who is full of anxiety. So what it is, when you realize this about yourself, and let me just backtrack a little bit, because it's not something that you get. It's not something that you acquire. It's not something that you get from outside. It's something that you realize. It's like opening a door. It's like coming unexpectedly into this room, like you do in a dream sometimes. You walk down a hallway and you see a door, and you feel this unbelievable urge to open this door up, because you know that there's something behind that door that's really important, that could in fact change your life. So you open the door, and what do you find? Truth. The true self. The awareness. Now these are all the same thing. These are different words for the same thing, which is unnameable. But this is accessible to you. I say it again. This is accessible to you. Right now. And when you know that, when you accept that about yourself, that this is something that can happen to you, this is something that you can open yourself up to, then when you realize that, then of course, every day is a good day. And we can thank Soen Nakagawa for reminding us of that.